Donald Trump bragged about acing a cognitive test while forgetting his doctor's name, and his son, Donald Trump Jr., was hit with a brutal fact check relating to what I'm sure was a typically mundane campaign issue. Let's see here. Jeffrey Epstein. Great. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. As we've explained many times on this show, there's one basic fundamental rule that explains modern politics, and it's this: MAGA politicians are weird. They are odd weirdos who say weird things and do weird like showing up outside the Trump trial in matching outfits or live streaming their 80th birthday party on their weird internet show. All right, Rudy, time to open your present. Wow, just what I wanted. 2/3 of a pair of khakis. Like in any other context outside politics, we would all universally recognize these people as weird. If you took Marjorie Taylor Greene holding up one of her giant posters of Hunter Biden's out of a congressional hearing and put her in, say, Times Square, even MAGA supporters would cross to the other side of the street to get away. And by the way, I don't mean to denigrate all types of weird. Artistic weird, for example, is great. Uncle weird, on the other hand, is not. Artistic weird is when you paint yourself blue and play the drums. Uncle weird is when you start carrying around loose ivermectin in your members-only jacket and tell everyone at Thanksgiving about the testicle tanner you bought because you saw it on Tucker Carlson's web show. That turkey's a beautiful golden brown. You know what else is a beautiful golden brown? Uncle Terry, no! Oh, I guess we're not allowed to talk about how our balls look at Thanksgiving anymore. You were never allowed! For example, Trump showed up to Capitol Hill last week for the first time since he sicked a violent mob on Congress, and Republicans didn't just greet him warmly. They heaped so much cloying, gratuitous praise on him, you'd think they just reconnected with their biological father.
Rousing displays of Republican unity today around the party's presumptive nominee.
We were told there was a big standing ovation for him among Republicans.
They sang happy birthday to the former president.
He said very complimentary things about all of us. We had sustained applause. He said, I'm doing a very good job. I mean, we're grateful for that.
You know what Trump meetings are like. He's electric. He's got an incredible fastball. And I think that it was just exciting after all he'd been through, how strong this man is.
He was the team captain, and we were glad he was leading us.
He was funny. He was joking around constantly with everyone. He was really sweet to me. He saw me in there and he was like, hello, Marjorie. He's always so sweet and recognizes me.
That's not the compliment you think it is. When people recognize you, it's not because they're sweet, it's because you're terrifying. That's like saying, I'm sorry, I feel like I've seen you somewhere before. Are you the murderous doll Megan? Seriously, do you guys hear yourself fawning over Trump? You're talking about a serial liar and con artist who lost the popular vote twice, fomented a violent coup attempt that almost got you killed, just got convicted of 34 felonies, and looks like the Roadrunner just tricked him into blowing himself up. How'd you get ready for that interview? Did you strap yourself to a rocket? Usually you interview a politician to get the dirty laundry. You don't interview the dirty laundry. Republicans are such obsessive sycophants, they want us to all believe that secretly behind the scenes, Trump is actually a sweet, strong, compassionate genius, while in public, he can't even read words or remember names. Over the weekend, for example, he bragged once again about supposedly acing a dementia test, while at the same time repeatedly forgetting the name of the doctor, Ronnie Jackson, who gave him the test.
Joe Biden has no plan. He's got absolutely no plan. He doesn't even know what the word inflation means. I don't think if you gave him a quiz. I think he should take a cognitive test like I did. I took a cognitive test and I aced it. Doc Ronnie Johnson, does everyone know Ronnie Johnson, congressman from Texas? He was the White House doctor. And he said I was the healthiest president he feels in history. So I liked him very much immediately.
Bragging about acing a cognitive test while forgetting the name of the doctor who gave it to you is like writing on a resume that you speak 3 languages and misspelling the word languages. In that same speech, you can also see Trump's brain glitch, and rather than just stop and reset like a normal person, he tries to recover by randomly pointing to someone in the crowd.
But the American people were far better off under a gentleman named President Donald J. Trump. Have you heard of him? Have you heard of him? And And in particular, and remember this. Oh, wait a minute. Mike Lindell, please stand up, okay?
First of all, credit where credit's due. He did get Donald J. Trump's name right. We give him a hard time, but he nailed that. Second of all, nice save, dude. When in doubt, just scream the name Mike Lindell like it's your safe word in an orgy. Quick tangent, if you were at an orgy with someone and their safe word was Mike Lindell, would you make them leave the orgy? I would, and I'm famously lax when it comes to who can and can't stay at the orgy. Ask around. Although my favorite part of that clip is what Trump says next.
I just saw him. Stand up. Forget about his pillows. He is the greatest purchaser of advertising in the history of America.
Even Trump's like, his pillows suck. Forget about his pillows. They're like burlap sacks filled with spiders and needle sticks. I'd rather put my head on a railroad track next to a beehive. Mike Lindell, everyone. My dearest friend, Mike Lindell. But that was somehow not the weirdest public appearance by a person named Donald Trump this weekend, because there's a second lesser Donald Trump named Donald Trump Jr. who said this very bizarre thing for absolutely no reason.
If you're in this room right now, you're probably on the FBI list. You're in with me, my father, my family, so you're in with good company. I am on every list except the Epstein list. We haven't heard anything about that one in a while. I'm fine with all the other lists. As long as I'm not on the Epstein list, we're good, right? Speaking of which, how is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks?
I'm not on the Epstein list is one of those things that if you have to say it, you've already lost. For example, even if it's true, you wouldn't put it in a dating profile between outdoorsy and loves dogs. Also, side note, you're not on an FBI list. These guys are so desperate to pretend they're anti-government rebels with transgressive views rather than the rich, powerful ass they are. Besides, the FBI doesn't need to put Don Jr. on a list. I'm pretty sure they know where to find him. Just check for any stores that sell Adderall-infused beard oil. Vape places. It's gonna be your vape places. But back to the Epstein stuff. Don Jr. thought this was such a home run. He then retweeted that clip and wrote, "You know who's not on the Epstein list? My father, because if he was, it would have leaked in about half a second. That's a fact." But he was hit with possibly one of the all-time greatest fact checks, which said Donald Trump was on Epstein's flight logs at least 7 times. Here are the receipts straight from the court records in the Ghislaine Maxwell case. That is brutal. 7 times. He wasn't just on Epstein's plane, he had platinum status. They let him board before uniformed military personnel. He was only 3 flights away from filling out his punch card. Imagine how hard it would be to find out your dad was on Epstein's flight logs, and on Father's Day, no less. What do you even write on the card after that? To the best dad who hasn't been on Epstein's plane 8 or more times. But let's consider Don Jr.'s question. Why hasn't more come out about the Epstein case? Why hasn't that been brought to light? Maybe his father can right this wrong by declassifying all the Epstein documents, something he could have done, I don't know, when he was president. In fact, Trump Sr. was asked exactly that question in a recent Fox News interview that backfired spectacularly. Watch as he eagerly agrees to immediately declassify a bunch of other stuff related to JFK or 9/11, but when it comes to the Epstein files, he suddenly slams on the brakes.
If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these, would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much. Mike Lindell! Mike Lindell! That clip is amazing. He short circuits when they ask him about Epstein like he's Sylvester the cat and someone just asked him, have you seen Tweety Bird? But this is really such a perfect encapsulation of the Hall of Mirrors that is the MAGA movement. They see elaborate conspiracies everywhere, except when there's one staring them right in the face that happens to involve their hero, Donald Trump. They're obsessed with Epstein. Meanwhile, it turns out Trump was on Epstein's plane so many times. When they saw each other, Trump probably said of Epstein,
He's always so sweet and recognizes me.
This has been a closer look.